So it's been a minute since I've been on here posting videos of my work. Part of that's due to I've spent a lot of time uh, taking photos at the fort this year. Um, if you didn't know, I am a volunteer photographer at the fort, so I've been getting a lot of photographs together for them. Taking photographs and processing them has been taking time. In addition to that, I'm trying to add more solar power to my home. I've got a project of putting a new deck on, getting the solar hooked up to that. I've got solar battery systems in the house at this point. So it's been kind of a busy year. But I wanted to come on here and talk about something that you guys may need. Now, usually we talk about photography just being a solo image, right? An image captured in time. But you can do more with that. And of course, there's always the possibility with our digital cameras now of being able to record video. To that end, you'll notice that I may sound a little different for this particular video. TZ Audio reached out to me and made me an offer. And that was I could get a partial reimbursement on the TZ Audio Stella X2 large diaphragm Cardoid Condenser XL microphone if I made a video both for AWS and a longer video for my channel. Now, I've gotten a couple of people that have reached out to me about doing some kind of demo or showcase of their product, usually more along the lines of jewelry, to be honest. But in this case, I wanted to see what the microphone could do for me. Now, I had to go buy the microphone. This was not something that was sent to me. This is something I had to go purchase. The reason I like doing it that way is it means if I don't like it, I can just send it back, right? No harm, no foul. I'm under no obligation to do anything at that point because I bought the microphone. I get to try it out. Now, I had a Rode microphone before this, and I had another microphone before that. So this is my third microphone. So if you listen to any of my previous videos, you're going to hear the other microphones in use. So if you're curious, you can go back and look at those other videos. I would say go back one from here, and you'll be able to hear what the other microphone sounded like. This is run through Adobe Audition, just as the other ones were. I've got the dynamics denoise and adaptive noise reduction put on there. But again, this is a photography channel. One thing you could do other than video is what if you recorded something that went along with the video itself? So let me give you an example. I ran into a woman who had her newborn with her. And it occurred to me that it would be a good idea to take a picture of the woman so that she could put it away and show it to her kid. This is what I look like pretty much the day you were born, right? It was a little while after the birth. But this would allow her to give her child something truly unique. The photograph was then put into archive paper, put into an archive envelope, and then wrapped in another envelope so that the light wouldn't get to it. So it's completely sequestered from the elements. But in addition to that, she could, if I had this set up at the time, and it brought it with me, be able to record a message that could go with that photo. So as you can see from this particular video, we've got a still image there with the video or with the audio playing. We could do the same type of thing like that for our clients. There could be a series of images of them, of their child, bundled together with this soundtrack. So think of what it would be like to do this for a couple that just had a child, pictures of the father and the father holding the child, the mother holding the child, the family together, with a blending of the two of them, adding something to that video that they could then put away for their child for later on. Now, this microphone comes with a travel case, so it'd be easy to just pop this thing with you and take it wherever you go. I had to get a connector for it. This is an XR plug mic, which if anybody who ever worked on old tube radios knows what those connectors look like, or if you're in the business of audio, you'll know what an XR looks like. It's basically a larger plug with a series of pins to it, so nothing like what you would normally attach to a computer. I've got this connected up to a wonderful little device here that has a gain control on it. It needs to have a virtual 48 volt, which I get directly from this device. And it has a monitor jack to it. Now, this one that I got also would allow me to put in a plug for a guitar or something, so it has more use than just the microphone. But it was a simple addition to it. The microphone plugs into that device, which then plugs into the computer. Because of the different sounds that I've got in around where I'm recording, I've got computer equipment here. I've got my one of my batteries here that'll occasionally kick on to cool itself down. The fan will kick on. I have a sound shield around the microphone so that it deadens any of the sound that's coming toward the microphone that isn't from my direction, which means I have to have quiet behind me. But it allows me to, with this half circle device, protect it from any of the other sounds. So I got the TZ audio device, unpacked it, and I'm not big on making unpacking videos. Personally, I find them boring, but I had the microphone. I've got the holder for the microphone. I was able to integrate it in easily to my existing system. You have to get, if you're going to have a setup like this, you have to have a heavy-duty boom for it because the shield around it is heavier. If you're just using the microphone, you can go with a regular boom, but if you're going to use the shield around it, you have to have a beefy arm to hold it all in place. But what I've been most struck by with this microphone is the ability of using that gain to get a higher quality audio out of this microphone than I was getting from my Rode microphone. Now, maybe there were other adjustments I could make there, but here, it's not a USB microphone. So the microphone goes into my little Scarlett device. That device then has the gain control on it, which you adjust to make sure that you're not putting in too much audio volume. It lets you know with a green to red indicator light that's on it. And by having that gain control on there, it allows me to adjust it for me. So if we go back to the example of using this microphone for a photo montage of a couple that just had a child, for example, you could adjust the gain on that microphone for them by keeping an eye on that light to make sure that it's where it needs to be. You could run some, because it does not have to be recording for you to see that light. You can run some tests with them, let them talk, and adjust the gain appropriately so that you get very high quality sound for their little video. Now, personally, I would put something like that probably in the company that I get my books from does a little wooden box for the books, and you can put a USB drive in there. And I would probably get an engraved wooden USB drive because that would be very unique. Something you wouldn't confuse for anything else. Engrave it with the child's name on it, put the family name on the other side, however you want to do it. But have that little wooden USB drive with this video on it that they can then put aside. And then when the child's older, at some point, they can let the child hear that. Or maybe it's something that they want to put away for after they're gone, as a way of the child remembering their parents after their parents have passed. So maybe that gets left with a lawyer or put away in a box, a protected metal box, for example, that's locked, that allows it to survive until such time as that becomes part of the child's inheritance. And then that child could always hear their parents' voice and see what they looked like at the time of their birth. I'm a sentimental guy. I'll admit that up front. This to me sounds extremely attractive and something I wish I had done back when my son was born. But this microphone gives me a little bit more flexibility than I had with the Rode microphone. It is unexpectedly about the same price as what I paid for the Rode microphone. Comes in at just under $200. Now that's not inclusive of the cable and the device that I have attached to it. In addition to that, the Scarlett allows for a feed. So if you're going to listen to the monitor on there, you're going to have a pair of headphones with not a micro jack, with a regular headphone jack, because the Scarlett that I've got is basically made for studio recording. And normal studio recording has the XR microphone block on the plugs. It has normal microphone jacks. So keep that in mind when you put your kit together. So it puts the price a little over what the Rode microphone was, and it is a little bit more set up because you have this other device and you have to adjust this other device. It does have one advantage, though, in that because you have to have the 48 volt virtual on it, otherwise it can't pick up the sound. It's a turn on and turn off situation, so you never have to worry about the microphone being accidentally on. If you haven't turned it on, either through the device or through the software that they've got, then you don't have to worry about anything. And they do have software that goes with the Scarlett. It's not part of the TZ audio setup, so that's why I'm not talking about it. I will link some of the stuff together and put it down in the comments section so you can see the actual equipment that I'm using here, the boom that I've got, the shield that I've got as well. But I just wanted to pop on and let you guys know that there can be more to photography than just the photograph itself. There can be a treasure trove of other things that you can add to that image. And for those of you who do wedding photographies or boudoir photography, you know the album is one such thing, right? That album is a tangible piece of all those photographs, but it's also an album itself. It is something in and of itself with the photographs in it. And again, having something like this, that what if you took this rig with you and you did a wedding and you let the bride and the groom say something to each other that they wouldn't hear until you presented them their wedding album. And with that wedding album, you present 2 USB drives, one for her and one for him, that they can then listen to what their partner had to say about them on the day they got married. Might sound a little sappy, but honestly, I can't think of a more wonderful thing to have going forward. So that's what I got for you guys. Like I said, TZ Audio reached out to me. I will be getting a partial refund on this microphone, but I'm getting it because I like the microphone and I'm happy to do this kind of video to put it out there that this microphone is a good thing to have and to give you guys some ideas on what you could use the microphone for. And once we get done with the summer here and we get done with some more reenactments, there'll be more content on the site. So I will talk to you all later.